Hello guys, it's Encore64 here. A couple of years ago, many years ago in fact, I did a video on an HP motherboard, which was running a Xeon X5650. That motherboard was good for its time, and I've decided that it's time to move on, especially with the pricing of the DDR4 and DDR5 today very high. So we're still looking at building, I'm still looking at building an ultra budget build. So it's not really a budget build, it's an ultra budget build, which means, like, the CPU could be anywhere from $12 to $15 for a Xeon. Right now, my main focus is actually on this motherboard that I just received. It's from Aliexpress, and I'm gonna walk you through what I think are the good features in the motherboard. This video is probably gonna be in multiple parts. So in the first part, we're gonna just take a visual look at the motherboard and just get an idea in terms of how the quality is, because it is an Aliexpress motherboard, and I'm doing this testing so that you guys don't have to. And we'll go from there. Hello guys, it's Encore64 here. Alright, so this is the motherboard off AliExpress. It's from a brand called SOYO. Now I think I've seen this brand right around the Pentium 4 era. So I think this brand used to exist, but it's no longer there anymore in the North American market. But I think they still make motherboards on AliExpress. So let's take a look at it. In this portion, we're just gonna take a visual look at it because I'm still waiting for the processor to come in, and but until we get that, we'll just take a quick look at what kind of quality are we looking at. All right, so the motherboard is well packaged from what I can see. We got the IO plate. We have the SATA connectors, SATA cables, and I think this is for the CPU cooler. I'm not sure if we're going to use that, but it's good to have this. And here's the board. All right, so not much else came with the board, just a warranty card. There's usually a couple of typos as you would expect from a Chinese motherboard, but it seems fairly good, fairly decent, 3 years warranty. And anyway, let's put that aside. Let's take a look at the board. All right, okay, so it's actually a lot smaller than I thought, and very well packaged actually. So I'm gonna have to be holding my camera in one hand, and let's take a look at the VRMs. Okay, so it's hard to tell, but from what I can see, the thermal pad is actually very well attached on there. And at the back, we're looking at screws, not the push pins. So that's good to see. Very well laid out board. Only 3 SATA connectors. Now this is a DDR3 motherboard for a Haswell CPU, and I'll talk about the specifics of that in just a minute. We're looking at, well, this is what we are interested in for the graphics card. I did just install it doesn't come with the lithium battery, but I just installed it. Those are pretty cheap. You can get them off from Amazon. Color coded front panel IO, that's really nice for the budget board. Now, what about the cost of this motherboard? This motherboard with a coupon costed me $52 Canadian, and without the coupon it was $56 Canadian. In my opinion, that's a really good deal for the board, especially because you can use so it's running Intel C612 chipset, which is obviously responsible for the IO, but because this is a Haswell architecture, the Haswell architecture, especially the OEM processors, which I'll talk about in just a minute, maybe in the next video, they support both DDR4 and DDR3. So in this case, this motherboard has slots for DDR3, so we're going to be using a specific 18 core Haswell Xeon that's going to support DDR3. DDR3 ECC registered memory, because those are really cheap. You can get them for about like $5 each sometimes, depending on. Take a look at your local used classifieds like Craigslist, Kijiji, Gumtree, those kinds of places. You can usually get them for a lot cheaper than you can get them on eBay. Okay, so in terms of the overall quality, we got all solid caps, 3 SATA connectors, 24 pin, a single EPS connector, 8 pin. The heatsink is a nice aluminum block. I think it's not that cold. Yeah, it's pretty cold to the touch. And just looking at the solder quality, the soldering looks really good actually. Really nice. Okay, so let's take a look at the back of the board. So we got, of course, the PS2, and these I think four of these are USB 3.0 and one of them is USB 2.0. That's okay for us because we're not gonna need more than that. 4 is more than enough. And let's take a look at the back of the board. The solder quality looks pretty good at the back. Sorry guys, I'm just a little hesitant to flip it all over as I'm holding the camera with my other hand. Okay, so overall, I would say visually, the board looks good. Of course, in the next part, we're gonna get into the installation, and I'll talk about the VRM because I'm a little bit concerned about how this setup is gonna hold a Xeon, an 18-core Xeon, because it has a TDP of 140 watts. So we'll take a look at that once the chip arrives. But overall, visually, the motherboard looks pretty good, and look forward to testing it, installing Windows 11 on it, just to see how it works, and we'll go from there. All right, guys, take care.